Hello and welcome to the tutorial for the Class 87 and I guess the Class 86 as well. Oh. So I'm already driving, as you can see, I'm already driving the Class 87, so yeah. Just thought I'd go through the controls and things like that. Going a bit too fast at the moment. I've just come back into it. I resumed earlier, put a bit of brake on. Right. So the Class 87 AC electric locomotive they're slightly different to drive compared to the. Hang on, is this working? I don't even know if it's working. So, as far as I can, compared to normal locomotives where you have a power handle on the right, which you just open up and off you go, electric AC locomotives use what they call taps. So these are your taps basically. That's your power gauge. So there's no power on at the moment, so I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold the power handle open because we are going uphill and slowing down, and we're supposed to be doing 95 miles an hour. So I'm watching the gauge go up. It's important that this power gauge doesn't get into the red because it might overload. Obviously as well, being an electric locomotive, we have neutral sections. As you can see, you have your line light, power light there. Like other locomotives, you have a brake, a straight air brake, AWS. The AWS and DSD, so the DSD is a bit of a strange one to arm because it's actually in the engine room and it's at one of the ends, so most likely it'll be at the other end of the train. Obviously the AWS is in the same place as most locomotives, it's here behind the driver. So you use taps to control this. Let's see if I can just get a close-up of it. So yeah, notch indicator for driving loco, that's obviously a second. So that's the notch indicator, which is where we are now. Obviously these are the traction motors, and we obviously don't want them in the red. Green's perfect, yellow will happen, it's just how it goes. Now, the 87, well the AC electric locomotives in general are quite complex to drive, but they are fantastic when they get going. So, once you've got the power, shut the notches off. Obviously we're going uphill as well, so you probably don't want to completely lower your notches. So I'll probably hold, at the power handle situation is this, that's hold, that's just a notch up. Hold that, does it all automatically for you, like that. And I'll put it back to hold, and obviously off, it runs, it will just shut your notches completely off. That's the notch down, and that's just to automatically notch down. The difference between that and off is you can stop that, whereas off, it completely shuts them off. And you have to wait until they get back to zero again. So I'm losing some speed because I'm going uphill. So I'm going to run up my power again. The route is very tricky because of the gradients and the varying speeds. So it is 90, but we'll come up to 105, so I'm just going to leave it open. You can brake. Brake does use the rear static electric motors, reversing the traction motor's power, so you will see the power notches go up and down, the traction motor power go up and down. You can do that whilst the power notches are on. But there is definitely a fine art in driving this train. So we're now at 105. We're going downhill, so I'm gonna notch off. I'm not gonna power off. I'm gonna notch off instead and put on a bit of brake at the same time. Because now we're doing 110. Just see how quick the power gets out of the speed gets out of control. And I'm gonna hold. So you will find yourself doing a lot of braking. So we should be going through Oxenholme soon. I know you have to slow down through Oxenholme. It's still a few miles away yet. Still got quite a bit of the route. It's a very pretty route this is, I have to admit. And this is a lovely train to drive. Well, I say it's a lovely train to drive. I do enjoy driving it. It's just so... you think with this being such a big route, it would be pretty boring. But actually, because you do have to drive these trains, I don't find it boring. Now, if I got into... So I did try and drive with the Pendolino. I found it really boring. Because you just put it in power and let it go. You set the speed to whatever the speed is. You slow down, speed up. It's just so easy. Whereas when you're driving the AC locomotive, there is so much more to do. It's so much more fun. Got to keep checking your gradients, because although going downhill will speed your train up to a degree, if you have once that gradient starts going up, before you know it, you're losing speed. Right, now that marker there, that black marker with the two white T's, means there's a neutral section coming up, so I'm now going to power off. Don't need power anyway. It's not so bad when you're going downhill, it's a pain when you're going uphill. And I'll show you what happens when we go through a neutral section. Oh, it's 100 miles an hour as well, so I better brake. So that's the neutral section. The lights go out. However, because I put the brake on, so what's happened there is I've gone through the neutral section while I put the brake on. So that meant the traction motors were still moving. So my power's not been restored. So as you can see, no line light, no power. So to get out of that, you've got to hit the pantograph up override button, like that. And there you go. You get your line light back. So I've got power again, but I'm now going a bit too slow, but there is a 90 coming up anyway, so I'm just going to let it coast at 90 now, because by the time I get to 100 I'm going to have to slow back down again. And I'm going to put my handle back into hold, and the reason I'm putting it into hold, two reasons: one, because I can't see the speedometer, but also two, because once I can speed up again, I'll be ready to open up the notches. So I might just notch up a bit. It's not a great deal of power, but I mean, I could just hold it, I suppose, like that. Go up to about, probably might go up to about halfway, let that speed back up slightly, because I'm losing speed, because we are going back up it again. So looks like that's not really doing anything, so let's put some more taps open. Go up to 80 this time. And then let the train start to power up a bit, start to speed up. There's the M6 up there, and we're going through the Pat Fowles and T-Bay. And then we slow down to an 80, so I will notch off again. In fact, I'll power off. And then put a bit of brake on. think it's this corner of the 80, so I've got a bit more brake on. There it is, there's the 80. I'll put a bit of power on, because although we're dropping downhill, we're going slower than 80. Still slowing down. I'm going uphill again. Yeah, going back uphill, so open up the power. It's amazing how quickly the train slows down. It's so unforgiving, these gradients. If you can remember, the thing is, if you're good at learning the route and remembering the gradients, you'll find yourself in a brilliant position where you can just put yourself, you know. See, I've powered off again. I've made the mistake of powering off, which now means I've got to wait to 0 to put the notches up, which means I'm going to end up slowing down. What I should have done was just gone to dropping the notches. So I've got to wait now till I get to 0 before I open up again. That's an example of powering off. But we are going downhill, so fingers crossed I shouldn't need to put too much power on. So speed back up to 85. And then I should be able to power off and just rely on the brake to keep speed. So momentum speeding us up with a bit of power. I might just power off and let gravity take its course. Yeah, learning the gradients is it's not just about the speeds, it's about the gradients. This is definitely a route where knowing where the gradients are really does help, because you can lose so much time if you get it wrong. And this is why this route's so clever. I mean, look, I'm 22 miles away from Lancaster and I've got to be there in 15 minutes. I mean, I left a bit late anyway because I was held up by something, but also just, you know, general keeping up with the speeds is just so difficult in places. I mean, okay, fair enough, I've got 15 minutes, I am doing speeds of up to 100 mile an hour, so it's not an impossibility to do 22 miles in the next 15 minutes, but it certainly, you know, makes it more challenging. If you wonder why I keep flicking the hood on and off, it's because I don't like having the hood on. I like having a clear screen, but obviously mainly for the gradients and the upcoming speeds, because I haven't fully learnt the route yet. It's so long and it's very repetitive. You know, I do have to keep checking sometimes. Some I remember, obvious ones I remember, but there's some like these I just forget. It doesn't now because there's no PSR reminders on this route, because it's at a time when they were relatively new coming in, there wasn't many around. You literally need to know your route and your speed and your gradients. And of course are these crappy stencils, there you go, 90. And of course are those really crappy stencils which you can hardly see, so you could miss them and not realise. Still going downhill, which is good. So I'll steadily power up speed up to 90, and then I'll power off and use the brake again to maintain the speed. If I'm going downhill, obviously. I do love the 87, I do love the Mark III, it brings back a lot of memory to when I was a kid. Fantastic. Ooh, just speeding up a bit there. When we stop at Lancaster, I'll just briefly go over some more of the buttons and knobs and switches in the cab whilst we're doing station duties. Looks like we're going through Oxenholme shortly. There it is. A rather unconvincing horn. 100's coming up, so I'll be going uphill or downhill. It's all going downhill. Neutral section coming up. I might... I can put some... It's a difficult one because the neutral section's coming. There's absolutely no point powering. So I'm just going to leave the power off in the opposition for now. And as we're going downhill, momentum should speed us up a little bit. And then once I'm through the neutral section, I'll open up the taps. Because there's no point. I mean, I probably could power up a bit and just shut off again, but it takes that long for the notches to drop down that I just don't know if it's worth it. Right, here's an neutral section coming up now. And I've not... Hey, why has it not come back? I don't understand that. It's not come back. See, normally you go through and you come back, but it's not. I've had to manually I've had to manually do it. I don't understand why I've had to manually reset that. The power controller was off. I'm not braking. I don't understand that. I really, really don't. So I'm not sure why it didn't reset. It's fine because you can press the reset button as long as the power controller's off, but I don't understand why it never automatically reset. So interesting. Oh, we've got some 110 mile an hour coming up, which is good. Right, I'm going to notch down a bit because we're going uphill. Actually, we're going uphill, so probably best if I do put a bit of power on. So I'm going to open it. I'm going to open the taps, as they say. And now I'm going too fast. So I'm going back downhill again. Oh my god, these gradients. Power off. Brake. I spend so much time watching the instruments, I hardly see what's going on the outside. Where's this 110? Right. What am I doing? Up and or downhill? I'm going downhill. Right. It's safe to say then. Oh, it's safe to say then I should be able to open up then. And hopefully, by the time the power starts to kick in, I should be on the 110 mile an hour bit. Right, there we go, 110. Lovely. Right, full power. Full power downhill. Yeah, so it's all about learning the gradients and how to better regulate your power up and down the gradients, because it is so complex. I'm sure it gets easier the more you learn the route. So we're flying along a bit now. So once I get to 110, I guess I'm going to have to power off, because I'm going downhill, aren't I, at the moment. Right. Let's notch down. I might not power off, I might just notch down. I could always use the brake then to control the... Well, on a flat, doing 110 steady. So I'm going to leave the power at 40. In fact, I might put a few notches up. Losing power because, okay, maybe a bit more. Never going uphill, so I'm going to open the taps up. Six minutes to Lancaster, 9 mile. I know I'm going to be late, but hey. And that's, I suppose, what makes this route interesting. It makes it so challenging. Right, let's notch down a bit, because you can see the hill plateauing slightly in the distance. Downhill, power off. So 7.9 miles away, just under 5 minutes until we get to Lancaster. 110 still, there's no upcoming slower speed, so that's good. Still going downhill. Maintained at a relatively steady 109, but yeah. Just tap the brake just to try and maintain that speed at 110. Now we're going uphill, open the taps. Like I say, if you really know, I should really think, right, there's a line there, wherever this is now. I'm trying to think, right, is it Morecambe? Oh no, it's that, oh, it's Carforth. It's Carforth, isn't it? So I should, right, we're approaching Carforth, we're going uphill, open up the taps. Parcel train, that's been put away to let us go by, I think, because I think I've driven that before. So what's the story? We're 5.2 miles away, 3 minutes away from Lancaster. Still doing 110 though, so we're not going to be too late, I don't think. Let's notch down a bit then. Speeding, we're going downhill again. Now you notice I returned the handle back to hold That doesn't make any difference to the notches, they will drop down because you've powered off. There's an 86. I know it's 100 mile an hour coming up in 2 mile, but I need to sort of get some power going. We're on a flat at the moment. I don't want to get caught out by a hill. Oh, there's a neutral section coming up as well. So I'm going to power off. And also understand why I wasn't getting, it doesn't, I'm not getting back the, see if it comes back this time. Driven 1,000 miles, wow. We're going uphill now, which is, we're going uphill 100 mile an hour. Can't power up because that neutral section coming. It's so frustrating. So here we go, into neutral section. Off. And it's returned this time. Interesting. Interesting. Oh. Because we're approaching Lancaster, aren't we? So 100 mile an hour. Start braking, I think. Unless I'm going to end up spreading, aren't I? The good thing about these is they do brake good. So I've got to be a bit late, but fingers crossed. Now, if I'm right, this should be train approach, therefore technically should clear, but I just still need to slow down to 30 anyway for the, because the platform is 30. So an incredibly infuriating signal check this is, but it has to be done. And also, it might not clear. There might be another train in front, there might be a signal delay. Oh, and there we go, look. As predicted. Slowing us down to get us into the platform, which is rightly so, to 30 mile an hour, so it's all correct. So the signal should work. Oh, what's happened there? Have they overloaded? No. I'm not going to be too late, look. As in, I'm not going to be too late, as in horrendously late. No point rushing too much, he's 30 in the platform anyway, so. DMUs everywhere. Oh God, we're a bit quick. Let's see how good these brakes really are. I think you're right to the platform, don't we? quite going to get to the end, am I? But we'll try. Well, this is tedious, but oh, that'll do. Yeah, so here's all the light controls. Let's have a look. Yeah, so these are your light controls: marker left, marker right, Elga white. That flicks them. That's your tail lamp. That turns into tail lamp. That's obviously your instrument light, which are currently on bright. But that was quick. Okay. Okay, I'll lock my doors then if that's what you want. I'm actually on I've got a green signal now. So I've got to go. F1. 1. Yep. That's me acknowledging. Back into neutral. Put it onto hold. And start notching up to get moving. Takes a couple of seconds to kick in, unfortunately. Hello. There we go. And traction motors have kicked in. So yeah, unfortunately it could take a few seconds for that to happen. I might have done it. Oh. Oh, interesting. Looks like I've had a traction motor overload. Interesting. Let's try it again. There we go. So let the amps rise to just before the red. Oh, it's doing it again. Oh, the brakes aren't off. Oh God! See, the good thing, this is why you watch this and see all the mistakes. The brakes weren't completely off. That's why the traction motors were fizzing out. Let's try it again. Right. So that's a good example actually of what happens if you don't get your brakes off. So that's oh, it's doing it again. Why my brakes keep coming on? No, I don't know what's going on here. But my brakes haven't come off. And every time I open up my traction motors, right, let's power everything off. I don't even know what's going on here. Actually, I'm not doing anything wrong. Let's have a look if I can do the overcharge automatic go. Ah, right, okay, interesting. Right, now let's try again. So traction motor's back up. It's doing it again. Traction motors keep failing. Why does that keep happening? So I don't actually know what's going on, but the traction motors keep overloading. Okay, let's go to about here and stop. And let's just get moving. Maybe they might settle themselves down a bit when they start moving. But I've never had that before. I don't know why they keep doing that. Which is all good. It's all good though. It's good. It's all good for the video, isn't it? So you can see what the problems I'm having. So it doesn't look like I've done anything wrong, I don't think. Unless I have and not realised. I don't think I've got a dragging brake, although my gauge on the left-hand side done it again. So why does that keep doing that? What have I done? I've not done anything. Apart from being in it. Right, let's just take it steady with the traction motors then. Go to there, leave it. So basically, it's like I'm on a reduced power. So the number 2 and 4 traction motors keep overloading for some reason or another, and I don't know why. My brake gauge here is different. The main res, I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. It's almost like very interesting. Okay. So slow. This doesn't help when you're already running late. Interesting. This is the problem though with these types of trains. You have no traction. You have no train like TMS, train management system. You don't really get. Well, I say you don't get fault lights. You don't really get fault lights. You get more like wheel slip and things like that. So it's a rather steady acceleration out of Lancaster since I appear to have issues with traction with 2 and 4 traction motors. And to be fair, it's quite strange. I've actually heard of that fault before. It's either 1 or 3 or 2 or 4. They must run on the same link system. When I'm on the move, just at reduced power, maybe as we get moving, they might settle down a bit. Just gotta try and, yeah. Well, Preston is 19 mile away and I'm supposed to do it in 11 minutes. Well, that ain't gonna happen, is it? Especially now I'm on reduced power. But that's what makes this so interesting. There's so much complexity in driving these trains on this route. It's really good. This is the first time I've encountered this, and I'm strangely enough, I actually quite like it. I'm certainly getting power, it's just taking a lot longer. There we go. Well, I'm on 100% notches now. What's that, 38.9? I wonder what a 39 and not 40. So technically I'm on full notches, so in theory I should be on full power. It's just I can't, it appears that the traction motors, once they get above a certain amount of power amperage, they just shut off. For whatever reason. I don't know if it's something I've done or what, but anyway. We're on the move now. We're getting some speed up. Next stop, Preston. Now, interestingly, I've got another neutral section to go through around Hess Bank, so that'll be interesting to see what happens when I go through that. It might just need a reset. It might just need a pan down reset. It might reset the traction motors. I guess we'll find out. I'm 110, aren't I? a notch down. Well, we're storming along now, so they must be alright. $15 miles to Preston. I'm probably not going to do it in 8 minutes, but I'll sure give it a go. And by the way, I don't proclaim to be an expert on driving this train or any train, but I'd like to think that I know more than the basics to enjoy and create and drive it as realistically as possible. I don't think we're too far from Hesbank and the junction for Moulton, because it shouldn't be too far away, should it? If we are only 13 miles away from Preston. Oh, going uphill. Let's put the taps open. Power off. Going downhill, so I'm going to power off. Put a bit of brake on. Neutral section coming up as well, so that works. We'll keep it in off. That should be interesting. Let's see what happens here when we go through Hesbank neutral section. See if I get the power back. Nope. There we go. Well, the power's come back. It's notched back up again. Still going downhill, but we've lost some speed. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad now. How many miles are we? Just under 8 miles. Probably not going to do it in 4 minutes, but we'll give it a crack. I don't think I've done too bad considering. Going uphill, I might need to put that power back on. go. Try and go as quick as I can before there's no more neutral extra here in Preston, so I know I've got carte blanche on how much power I can use. So I'm going to give it a thrash up to 110. I know there's a 95 in about 1.3 mile, then it gets to 80, so I've got to do some relatively serious braking. Also going downhill, so I'm going to power off. Start to brake with the 95 and the 80. Ooh, Pac-Man Ghost. Oh, be careful, that traction motor doesn't like going too high. That's the 80. Approaching Preston, you can see the church spire. Is it 30? 35? Yeah. Put some brakes on then. Good old lining from Blackpool will be appearing soon, from where the church is, from the side of the church. Oh, going a little bit too quick, so not quite doing 35, but I'm there now. There now. But the good thing is that I am pegged into the station, which is good. That's 25 over the junction, isn't it? Yeah. See, it's still showing. You say that, I'm still showing doing 80 here. But the 35, unless that was 35 for something else. So, there we go. 35. Ah, maybe it was for the junction. That's okay then. So I weren't speeding. Thank God for that. Pegged into the station. I'm doing 25 anyway. But I'm not doing too bad, look, only a couple of minutes late after all that. There's a lone 87 there in the engine sidings. Start putting a bit of brake on as we're approaching a red. Can be such a tricky train to stop sometimes. Oh god. Oh my god. Stop. And there we are. Oh my god. And there we have it. Got here. Not too late. A couple of minutes late. But hopefully you found this quite useful. I've shown you the basics of how to use the 87. This rule does apply to the 86 and probably the 90 as well to a degree. I've learned how to negotiate neutral sections, how to do them, and if you don't get the power back, how you get it back. And obviously, unexpectedly, we had an unplanned traction motor issue as well, which was good because it meant you saw how you handle that as well. So I do hope you found this video useful. And brilliant. Thank you for watching.